Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss Saw 4, starring Tobin Bell, Patterson, Betsy Russell, Costas Mandylor, and Lyric Bent, and directed by Darren Lynn Bousman. Now, before I get into this movie, I just have to say this. I went and saw this opening night on a Friday night in a movie theater because I was curious about something. How the fuck would they bring back Tobin Bell? Well, let's talk about it, shall we? The opening scene where Jigsaw, aka John Kramer, getting a lot of surgery and a lot of bodies parts taken out of him after his death was very fucking nasty. And before he dies, he puts a cassette tape in his mouth. Like, how the fuck can you swallow that shit with wax? Because it's way too fucking big, and that was a real problem from the start of this movie. The whole thing about Detective Hoffman, played by Costas Mandylor, having a challenge coming up was pretty fucking stupid. But who's still taking over after Jigsaw, John and Amanda, or Jigsaw and Amanda, are dead? Is it one of the cops? Is it his ex-wife Jill Tuck, played by Betsy Russell? Who was it? Was it in the FBI? Because, believe me, by the end of this, it's not going to get any better at this point on. This scene with the guy without his eyes versus the guy his mouth being sewed shut was... Who's going to win? It's obvious the guy with his mouth sewed shut. That was fucking predictable. Officer Rigg, who was in the last two movies, is all so obsessed with saving people. Like Eric Matthews, who's been missing for 6 months. Which, when we see him, how the fuck is he still alive after 6 months? It makes no fucking sense. We get introduced to FBI Agent Strawn, played by Scott Patterson, who's the biggest asshole ever because he keeps on interrupting people as they talk and is, abusive to his suspects. And Detective Perez, who makes me think she's a rookie and not a very good FBI agent, in my opinion. There's a woman who's not Rigg's wife, but someone named Brenda who's trying to kill Rigg so she can survive the test, and Brenda gets her hair briefly pulled out of her skull, and that's how she dies after trying to kill Rigg. Just doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. The see what I see thing, feel how I feel kind of bullshit from Jigsaw's game is way too much, to the point of killing innocent people and leaving the choices up to them. It's such fucking bullshit. I'm just gonna put it out there, guys. Strawn interrogates Jill Tuck in the most obnoxious way as possible. I would ask for a lawyer and not talk to the obnoxious cop for all I know. He acts like she has no rights, but believe it or not, pal, she has fucking rights. The script has so many fucking problems, it's driving me nuts. Cecil is another one of the biggest assholes ever because he causes a fight at the health clinic, and he was the cause of John and Jill to not only not have their baby, but makes John who he is to this day. Then he steals, and this is a flashback, by the way, this isn't really real life, a Chinese merchandise, and John gives him what he deserves by running into some razor wire. Like, thank fucking Christ this asshole deserved to die, because, like he said, he doesn't have a fucking soul. Perez gets killed by the Jigsaw toy with a gun inside, and Strawn tries to scare the living hell out of Jill, which total police brutality to tell him where the building she and John put up together was just so stupid. Let me just put it that way. Stupid. I just love the way when Rigg opens the door, Eric Matthews gets his head crushed by the two big ass blocks of ice, because I thought how that was presented on screen was fucking hilarious in my mind. As it turns out, Detective Hoffman works with the Jigsaw killer. Why? We'll find out maybe in the next movie. And Strawn shoots Jeff, and Hoffman leaves Rigg to die, and we'll see what happens to Strawn in the next movie as well. Not a satisfying ending at all, in my mind. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 2.7 out of 10. This is badly written with so many fucking problems that you cannot watch this movie standalone or else. You'll be asking what the fuck is going on or happening. Just please, whatever you do, don't watch this as a standalone. It's too much. And I'd like to thank you guys for joining me now, and I will be back next week with Saw 5. And until next time, live or die, make your choice.